Hey, welcome to day 9 of our chronological Read the Bible in a Year plan. Today we are on Job 21 through 23. 21 starts off with Job's response to Zophar. Then we have Eliphaz speaking in Job 22. And then chapter 23 has Job's reply to Eliphaz. There's a lot in all of this, but I want to highlight Job's responses rather than focusing in on Eliphaz just as more accusing Job of, there's something wrong that you did. You better figure it out. And once you do, God will surely bless you because he's only punishing you because of your sin. And he will absolutely, without fail, release you from this suffering the moment that you repent proper and confess properly, which is not how this works. Zophar has kind of a similar presentation to him. And in 21, where we start our reading, Job answers, "Pay close attention to my words. Let this be the consolation you offer. Bear with me while I speak. Then, after I have spoken, you can continue mocking." And he goes on to say, who am I as a human to complain against God? He doesn't have to listen to me. But if he did, man, I'd make my case and I would listen to what he has against me and I would consider any wrongdoing that he would actually accuse me of. Sort of saying one, look, if God brings an actual case against me, I'm all for it. But you, shut your mouth, dude. You don't know what you're talking about. Job ends this, verse 34. "So how can you offer me such futile comfort? Your answers are deceptive because you are implying to know the mind of God." And he's like, you don't know what God is doing. You don't know why this is happening to me. Then Eliphaz jumps in and it's your fault. Chapter 23, Job responds and says, man, if I could speak to God, I could make my case, but he won't listen to me. I don't even know where to find him. He says in verse 8, "If I go east, he's not there. If I go west, I cannot perceive him. When he's at work to the north, I cannot see him. When he turns south, I cannot find him. Yet he knows the way I have taken. When he has tested me, I will emerge as pure gold. My feet have followed in his tracks. I have kept to his way and not turned aside. I have not departed from the commands of his lips. I have treasured the words from his mouth more than my daily food. But he is unchangeable. Who can oppose him? He does what he desires." And he goes on to say he's doing what he wants, and who am I to say otherwise? But if I had an opportunity to stand before him and talk through this with him, I could make my case. Job is oscillating and roller coastering all over the place. There's, man, I just want to talk to God. God's not listening to me. He doesn't care. Man, I thought there was justice, but apparently there isn't any because the wicked get away with stuff, and here I am suffering, and the righteous suffer all the time. And then on top of that, he's like, and you guys are jerks. You don't know what you're talking about. And his friend's response is not compassion, is not comfort, it's not caring for him. It's standing there going, well, figure it out then. Figure out what you did wrong and fix it so that God will forgive you. People might say in the midst of grief and suffering things that are completely wildly untrue. And as long as it's not straight up blasphemy, it doesn't really bear a need for correction. And we sure don't need to go on a sin-finding investigation to force them to figure out what went wrong. When someone that we care about is hurting and suffering, the more that we can come alongside them and be with them rather than having to correct everything they say in their frustration and pain, the better. There can be a time for days, weeks, months later, follow up and check in. Hey, did you mean this thing? Let's talk through that. Because people come up with some weird ideas to comfort themselves too. And there's a time and a place to address and examine and potentially correct those things. But when somebody's hurting, the feeling of having somebody there to comfort them in their loss is so crucial. Job is looking for that. And when all their comfort is telling him that he did something wrong, that he's unwilling to confess, it is futile. It is unhelpful, unwarranted, and empty. Let's be people who bring about an actual, godly, righteous, Christ-like, incarnational comfort, not just attack and accusation. Don't pile on to their suffering by torturing them more. That's what I was really recognizing in this. I hope you're having an amazing time. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment on this video or in the Bible app, or shoot us a text and let us know what you think. Catch you on tomorrow's reading. In the meantime, be rad for Jesus.